Good evening. This is All India Radio. I am Tanvi Taneja and with me is Renuka Aris with the evening news. The headlines. Prime Minister Narendra Modi says new education policy was the need of the hour and it will be the foundation of new India. Nation's vibrant handloom sector has made commendable efforts to preserve the indigenous crafts of the country, says Prime Minister. 23 Kendra Vidyalayas to be set up in the Union Territory of Jammu and Kashmir to augment the school education infrastructure. Government launches letter of recommendation module for street vendors to avail PM Swarnidhi scheme benefits. And heavy rains lash many parts of the country. Landslides reported in Kerala and Karnataka. Prime Minister Narendra Modi today said new education policy, NEP, is a game changer to empower students. Addressing the inaugural NEP conclave, Mr. Modi said education overhaul was the need of the hour. He added the new education policy will lay the foundation for a new India. Mr. Modi said the conclave will give more information on NEP, which will further help in its better implementation.
राष्ट्रीय शिक्षा नीति 21वीं सदी के भारत की नए भारत की फाउंडेशन तैयार करने वाली है। 21वीं सदी के भारत को हमारे युवाओं और हमारे युवाओं को जिस तरह की एजुकेशन की जरूरत है, जैसी स्किल्स चाहिए, राष्ट्रीय शिक्षा नीति पर इन बातों के विशेष फोकस हैं।
The Prime Minister emphasized on holistic implementation of NEP and said that the country's education system must meet global standards. The Prime Minister appealed to students and youths to strive for global citizenship but must not forget their roots.
भारत का एजुकेशन सिस्टम खुद में बदलाव करे, ये भी किया जाना बहुत जरूरी था। स्कूल करिकुलम के 10+2 स्ट्रक्चर से आगे बढ़कर अब 5+3+3+4 कैरिकुलम का स्ट्रक्चर देना इसी दिशा में एक कदम है। हमें अपने स्टूडेंट्स को ग्लोबल सिटीजन भी बनाना है और इसका भी ध्यान रखना है कि वे ग्लोबल सिटीजन तो बने, लेकिन साथ साथ अपनी जड़ों से भी जुड़े रहें। जड़ से लेकर के जग तक, मनुष्य से मानवता तक, अतीत से आधुनिकता तक सभी बिंदुओं का समावेश करते हुए इस राष्ट्रीय शिक्षा नीति का स्वरूप तय किया गया है।
Quoting former President APJ Abdul Kalam, the Prime Minister said, the purpose of education is to make good human beings. Calling for a faster reform for a better India, Mr. Modi said students should work towards curiosity and commitment-driven life. He said the NEP stresses on teachers' learning and teachers make enlightened students. The Prime Minister welcomed questions and doubts on NEP. He said students will now have the freedom to switch courses and higher education is now free of specific streams. He added inquiry, analysis and discussion-based learning will strengthen the education system. The Prime Minister thus highlighted how the NEP was framed after long thinking. Higher Education Secretary Amit Khare today said the government is working on the gradual implementation plan for the new National Education Policy 2020. He said implementation is the top priority of the government so that there would be no disruption in the education system. In a virtual conversation today on new National Education Policy, Mr. Khare said implementation is a challenge, but the government is committed to turn this challenge into an opportunity. He said roadmap and strategy is clear and some of the recommendations will be implemented from the next academic session. On the challenge of spending 6% of the GDP on the education sector, Mr. Khare said many of the recommendations and reforms have no financial implications. He said better targeting of resources with the help of technology already possessed by the educational institutions will ensure better utilization of resources. In the Union Territory of Jammu and Kashmir, 23 Kendra Vidyalayas, KVs, would be set up in an effort to augment school education infrastructure. Principal Secretary of School Education, Dr. Asghar Hassan Samoon, today said that J&K has 36 functional KVs and setting up of 23 KVs are being pursued with the Government of India for augmentation of education infrastructure in the Union Territory. He directed the Deputy Commissioners to expedite the process of identification of land for the purpose, besides finalizing the temporary suitable accommodation for these KVs.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi has greeted all those associated with nation's vibrant handloom and handicraft sector. On National Handloom Day, the Prime Minister said they have made commendable efforts to preserve the indigenous crafts of the country. In an audio message on Twitter, Mr. Modi urged countrymen to be vocal for handmade and strengthen efforts towards an Atmanirbhar Bharat.
भारत का हैंडलूम अपने आप में सैकड़ों वर्षों का गौरवमय इतिहास समेटे हुए है। हम सभी का प्रयास होना चाहिए कि न सिर्फ भारतीय हैंडलूम और हैंडीक्राफ्ट का ज्यादा से ज्यादा उपयोग करें, बल्कि इसके बारे में हमें ज्यादा से ज्यादा लोगों को बताना भी चाहिए। भारत का हैंडलूम और हैंडीक्राफ्ट कितना रीच है, ये दुनिया जितना ज्यादा जानेगी उतना ही हमारे लोकल कारीगरों और बुनकरों को लाभ होगा।
On the occasion, Textiles Minister Smriti Irani inaugurated the celebration of 6th National Handloom Day. She also launched mobile app and a portal to propagate handloom industry. Speaking on the occasion, Ms. Irani said the government is aiming to connect weavers and other stakeholders digitally. She said through this handloom portal, people can get information regarding program launched by the Textile Ministry.
ये हमारा उद्देश्य है कि देश भर में हम 10 क्राफ्ट और हैंडलूम के विलेजेस को विकसित करें, ताकि हमारे देश का हैंडलूम का प्रोडक्ट मात्र कपड़ों तक, होम फर्निशिंग तक सीमित ना रहे। हम चाहते हैं कि विश्व भर का और देश का पर्यटक इन विशेष क्राफ्ट और हैंडलूम विलेज में जाए, न सिर्फ बुनकर के ताने बाने को समझे, सीखे, बल्कि उसमें सहयोग देकर हमारा जो मेक इन इंडिया आत्मनिर्भर भारत का संकल्प है, उसमें अपनी ओर से योगदान दे।
The minister also launched India's first handloom craft village, Sharan, in Himachal Pradesh. She said 10 handloom craft village will be launched soon to promote local weaved product. Our correspondent reports that government is promoting local products to become self-reliant in every sphere of life of handloom products are playing an important role in achieving this target. A report.
Handloom sector is a symbol of country's glorious cultural heritage. It is an important source of livelihood in the country, and this sector is a medium of women empowerment, as over 70% of handloom weavers and allied workers are women. The first National Handloom Day was inaugurated on 7th August 2015 by Prime Minister Narendra Modi. This date is related to an important historical event. On this day in the year 1905, Swadeshi movement was started in India, which promoted the use of indigenous products instead of foreign products. The government has taken several steps to boost the handloom sector in the country, which financially empowered handloom weavers. Bhupendra Singh, AR News, Delhi.
Minister of Railways Piyush Goyal and Agriculture Minister Narendra Singh Tomar today flagged off country's first Kisan Special Parcel Train or Kisan Rail through video link. The first train will transport material between Maharashtra's Devlali and Bihar's Danapur railway station. The Kisan Rail will carry fruits and vegetables and will make stoppages at several stations and pick up and deliver them. Speaking on the occasion, Agriculture Minister Narendra Singh Tomar said Kisan Rail will prove to be a milestone and will bring prosperity to farmers.
यह किसान रेल निश्चित रूप से कृषि उत्पाद को एक स्थान से दूसरे स्थान तक ले जाने में सस्ते किराए में सफल होगी और किसान को उसके उत्पादन का उचित मूल्य मिल सकेगा और उपभोक्ता को हर जगह खाद्य सामग्री की उपलब्धता हो सके और विशेष रूप से फल हैं, सब्जियां हैं, फूल हैं, जो एकदम कम आबादी वाले उत्पाद हैं, इनके लिए तो यह किसान रेल रामबाण सिद्ध होगी.
Minister for Railways Piyush Goyal said Kisan Rail will help farmers becoming Atmanirbhar, self-dependent and bring prosperity to their lives.
देश जुड़ता है, किसान जुड़ता है, किसान का उपलब्ध देश भर में जाता है. इससे ज्यादा खुशी की बात मैं समझता हूं हम सबके लिए और कोई नहीं हो सकता.
As per this initiative, the Kisan Rail will run through public-private partnership mode to provide a seamless supply chain of perishable goods. The train will cover a distance of 1,519 kilometers in almost 32 hours on a single trip and will halt at 14 stations including Nashik Road, Manmad, Itarsi, Satna, Prayagraj and Buxar.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi will inaugurate Rashtra Swachhita Kendra in New Delhi tomorrow. The Kendra is an interactive experience centre on the Swachh Bharat mission, which was first announced by Mr. Modi on the occasion of the centenary celebrations of Gandhiji's Champaran Satyagraha in 2017. The Swachh Bharat mission has transformed rural sanitation in India and has changed the behaviour of over 55 crore people from open defecation to using a toilet. Mr. Modi will also interact with 36 school students from Delhi, representing the 36 states and union territories in the amphitheatre of the centre, adhering to social distancing protocols. This will be followed by the Prime Minister's address to the nation. A total of 13,78,105 people have recovered from COVID-19 in the country. In the past 24 hours, 49,769 recoveries have been reported. With this, the recovery rate has improved to 67.98%. The Health and Family Welfare Ministry today said a total of 62,538 new cases of coronavirus have been reported within 24 hours, taking the total number of cases to 20,27,074. This is the highest number of new cases registered in a single day since the outbreak of COVID-19 in the country. Presently, the total number of active corona cases in the country is 6,07,384. 886 deaths have been reported during the past 24 hours, taking the nationwide toll to 41,585. The case fatality rate has further declined to 2.05% in the country.
10,171 more COVID-19 positive cases have been recorded in Andhra Pradesh during the last 24 hours. 7,594 persons have recovered in the state during the past 24 hours. A total of 2,06,960 COVID positive cases have been recorded so far in Andhra Pradesh, and 1,20,464 persons have recovered and 84,654 persons are under treatment. 23,62,270 samples have been tested so far in the state, and while 1,842 COVID deaths have been reported. In Meghalaya, 16 new COVID-19 cases were reported today, taking the total number of active cases to 590 with 66 new recoveries. Health Minister A.L. Hek informed media that till date 411 patients have recovered from COVID and 5 have lost their lives. So far, Meghalaya has detected a total of 1,006 cases.
Nagaland today reported another 77 cases of COVID-19. One death has also been registered today, while 5 patients have recovered from the disease. Health and Family Welfare Minister S. Phangnuphoom in a tweet said the total confirmed positive cases in the state stands at 2,657, of which 1,824 are receiving medical care at the designated COVID-19 hospitals and COVID care centres, while 824 have recovered and 7 people have succumbed to COVID-19 so far. Karnataka Deputy Chief Minister Dr. C.N. Ashwath Narayan has informed that show cause notices have been issued to 3,000 employees who have failed to report to duty since the outbreak of the pandemic in Bengaluru City Corporation West Zone. Speaking to media persons after holding a review meeting in Bengaluru today, the minister said that of the 6,500 employees deputed in the West Zone, 3,000 are absent. After receipt of the notice, only 700 of them have replied. He informed that those found absent include central government employees. The minister has instructed officials to train and engage college students to tide over the shortage of staff needed to collect throat swabs.
In our series Experts Speak on All India Radio, we bring you the views of leading medical experts on COVID-19. Talking to AIR News, Dr. Amarchand Bajaj, Senior Consultant at the Sitaram Bhartiya Institute of Science and Research in New Delhi, highlighted the importance of hygiene and how to maintain it to contain the novel coronavirus.
जब तक हमारे पास इनकी ट्रीटमेंट वैक्सीन या मेडिसिन के रूप में ना निकले, तब तक हमें जो प्रिकॉशनरी मेजर्स है वो फॉलो करने हैं। जहाँ जरूरत ना हो उसमें घर से बिल्कुल बाहर ना निकले, कोशिश करें कम से कम बाहर निकलना है। और जबकि निकलना भी पड़ा घर से बाहर तो कोशिश करें कि जहाँ आप 2 लोग खड़े हैं, करीब 2 मीटर दूर खड़े रहें, नहीं तो कम से कम 1 मीटर दूर खड़े रहें।
You're listening to the evening news on All India Radio. A reminder of the headlines before we move on. Prime Minister Narendra Modi says a new education policy was the need of the hour and it will be the foundation of a new India. Nation's vibrant handloom sector has made commendable efforts to preserve the indigenous crafts of the country, says Prime Minister. 23 Kendra Vidyalayas to be set up in the Union Territory of Jammu and Kashmir to augment the school education infrastructure. The government launches letter of recommendation module for street vendors to avail PM Swanidhi scheme benefits. And heavy rains lash many parts of the country. Landslides reported in Kerala and Karnataka. For quick news updates round the clock, follow us on our Twitter handle @AIR News Alerts.
Heavy rains are lashing several parts of the country, throwing normal life out of gear. In Kerala, heavy rain across the state triggered landslides in many hilly regions. A massive landslide occurred in Rajamala in Idukki district in the early hours today. Our correspondent reports that 15 people have lost their lives and many are feared to be trapped under soil. A report.
The massive landslide that hit Rajamala in Idukki district early hours of the day had washed over lines of settlements of tea plantation workers. As per official data, 15 dead bodies were recovered from the region and many more are feared to be buried under soil. Rescue and search operations by state and national disaster response forces are on war footing in the region. Chief Minister Pinarayi Vijayan said that a total of 15 persons have been rescued and all efforts are underway to find the rest of the missing persons. The remoteness of the area, broken power and communication lines and continuous rainfall is hampering the relief operations at the landslide site. Meanwhile, heavy rain is continuing across the state, creating widespread damage. Idukki and Wayanad district are worst hit. Multiple landslides are being reported in the hilly regions of northern districts. Major rivers are overflowing and low-lying regions are flooded. Met Department predicts very heavy rain to continue for coming days in Kerala. Mayusha for AR News from Thiruvananthapuram.
President Ramnath Kovind has expressed grief over the loss of lives due to the landslide in Rajamalai. In a tweet, Mr. Kovind said his thoughts and prayers are with the bereaved families and wished an early recovery for the injured. Prime Minister Narendra Modi today announced an ex gratia of 2 lakh rupees each from the Prime Minister's National Relief Fund to the next of the kin of those who have lost their lives due to the landslide in Rajamalai in Idukki. In a tweet, Mr. Modi said 50,000 rupees each will be given to those injured due to the landslide. He also expressed grief over the loss of lives in this incident. Home Minister Amit Shah has expressed condolences to the bereaved families of those who have lost their lives in Rajamalai Idukki. He said he has spoken to DG NDRF and their team has reached the spot to provide all possible assistance to the administration with the rescue work. Mr. Shah has wished early recovery for the injured.
Heavy rain with strong surface winds continue to lash north interior Karnataka, coastal Karnataka and Malnad region. Kaveri, Tungabhadra and Krishna river basins are at spate in some places. Rains triggered landslides in Talakaviri. Karnataka Chief Minister B.S. Yediyurappa, who is undergoing treatment for COVID-19, spoke to Chief Secretary Vijay Bhaskar over telephone today and instructed him to proceed with emergency measures without waiting for his approval. Expressing concern over landslides in Talakaviri, he asked District in Charge Minister V. Somanna to oversee the rescue operation to locate the priest and his family members missing since the landslide. The Raichur in-charge Minister Lakshman Savadi held a meeting today to evaluate the situation emerging due to the rising water levels of Krishna River. He asked officials to be prepared for the eventuality as Maharashtra has released excess water from Kohinoor Dam. More from our correspondent.
Holding the review meeting in Belagavi today, the Water Resources Minister Ramesh Jarkiholi asked officials to interact with their Maharashtra counterparts on release of water from Kohinoor Dam. He suggested that the water from reservoirs should be released downstream and diverted to ponds and lakes nearby to avoid flooding. In Hassan too, District in Charge Minister K. Gopalaya held a meeting with officials and instructed them to shift people from low-lying areas and hilly terrains prone to landslides. He informed that 190 houses are damaged in the district due to rain and a person is dead. The Met Department forecast says that widespread moderate to heavy rain associated with strong surface winds and extremely heavy rains are likely to continue over Udupi, Dakshin Kannada, Uttara Kannada, Kodagu, Shivamogga, Hassan and Chikmagaluru. Sudhindra, AIR News, Bengaluru.
Very heavy rain is whipping up the hilly district of Nilgiris in Tamil Nadu for the past 4 days. There are reports of uprooted trees blocking roads in many places, though they have been cleared on war footing. Major rivers including Bhavani continue to be in spate. Districts adjoining the Western Ghats are also experiencing moderate to heavy rains as the southwest monsoon has gained more steam. The situation is set to continue for the next 24 hours as reported by the India Meteorology Department. More from our correspondent.
Villages like Devala, Avalanche and Gudalur in the Nilgiris district experienced over 35 centimeter rain in the last 24 hours. The river Kaveri in the plains is receiving copious inflow as the catchment areas are experiencing torrential rain for the past many days. It has led to the water inflow into the Stanley Reservoir at Mettur to exceed over 30,000 cusecs, which is expected to go further up as more water has been released from the dams in Karnataka. The water level in Mullaperiyar Dam has reached over 130 feet, which was about 123 feet on Thursday. Meanwhile, the Indian Coast Guard has rescued 7 Nagapattinam fishermen as their mechanized boat hit a snag and was about to get drifted away in the rough sea. Jai Singh, AR News, Chennai.
Bihar Chief Minister Nitish Kumar today made an aerial survey of the flood-affected areas of the state. This is his second aerial survey of the affected areas during this week. Mr. Kumar visited Valmiki Nagar Gandak Barrage in West Champaran and reviewed the prevailing flood situation. He inspected the Pipra-Piprasi embankment, which is constructed on River Gandak near the Bihar-UP border. During the review meeting, the Chief Minister instructed to further step up relief works among the flood-hit areas. Over 72 lakh people spread over 16 districts are reeling under the impact of floods. 33 teams of NDRF and SDRF are carrying out relief and rescue operations. Bagmati, Budi Gandak, Kosi, Ganga and Bagmati rivers are flowing above the danger mark. The Met Department has forecast heavy rains in catchment areas of various rivers in North Bihar and Nepal in the next 48 hours. Housing and Urban Affairs Secretary Durga Shankar Mishra today launched Letter of Recommendation module for PM Swanidhi scheme. The module is designed to give access to street vendors who do not have identity card and certificate of vending and are not in the surveyed list for availing benefits under the scheme. The module provides for an end-to-end digitally enabled process wherein an eligible vendor can request for a letter of recommendation from the urban local body, and on receipt of the same, he or she can apply for loan under PM Swanidhi. The vendors possessing letter of recommendation shall be issued certificate of vending or an ID card within a period of 30 days. This provision will help in extending reach of the scheme to the people who were hitherto unable to avail these benefits. In order to improve public grievances redressal mechanism, Deputy Commissioner of Rajouri in Jammu and Kashmir, Nazir Sheikh, has launched a mobile app, Awaz-e-Rajouri. AIR Jammu correspondent reports that the launch of mobile app would improve public grievances mechanism. The use of the app by general public would make the officers and officials more accountable and instill confidence among the people in district administration. The free-of-cost app would help the citizens register their grievances online and also track the status of their complaints. In Gujarat, Shri Krishna Kumar Singhji Ant Udyog Shala of Bhavnagar has set an example by paying money for data plans to Divyang students for their online education. Vision-impaired Divyang students of this special school are now happy as they are getting online education free of cost. More from our Ahmedabad correspondent.
Sri Krishna Kumar Singhji Ant Udyog Shala of Bhavnagar in Gujarat is known for its big initiative for Divyang students. The General Secretary of the school, Sri Labhubhai Sonani, said that visually impaired Divyang students of the school are being paid ₹500 for mobile data plan.
दृष्टिबाधित बच्चों की शिक्षा अस्त-व्यस्त न हो, उसको घर बैठे अपनी पढ़ाई हो सके, इसलिए ऑनलाइन शिक्षा लेने वाले बच्चे को संस्था की ओर से सहायक योजना दाखिल की गई। इस तरह जो अपने फोन से पढ़ते हैं उनको ₹500 और अपने वालिद के फोन से जो पढ़ते हैं उनको ₹300 दिए गए हैं।
Divyang girl student Mansi expressed her happiness by getting online education.
हमारे शिक्षकों ने मिलकर ये तय किया कि विद्यार्थी पढ़ाई से वंचित न रहे, इसलिए हमें आज ऑनलाइन हर रोज पढ़ाया जाता है और मुझे ऑनलाइन से पढ़ाया जाता है उसमें बहुत ही मजा आता है और हमें लेसन भी देते हैं।
When the coronavirus pandemic is spoiling education of the students in the country, the Krishna Kumar Singhji Ant Udyog Shala is spreading lights in the life of Divyang students by helping them in getting online education. Yogesh Pandya, AR News, Ahmedabad.
A unique online patriotic film festival began today as part of the Independence Day celebrations organized by the Ministry of Information and Broadcasting. Information and Broadcasting Minister Prakash Javadekar said in a video message that we should celebrate 73 years of independence with the online patriotic film festival, which will be on till the 21st of this month. Our correspondent reports that the festival will showcase high-quality patriotic films daily at the website www.cinemasofindia.com free of cost.
The festival showcases Indian history that marks the bravery of our freedom fighters. It aims at creating a festive and patriotic mood among Indians across the globe. Critically acclaimed films from various Indian languages including Hindi, Marathi, Telugu, Tamil, Bengali, Gujarati and Malayalam will be showcased in the festival. A special edition of the film Gandhi by Sir Richard Attenborough will also be made accessible and can be enjoyed by people with vision and hearing impairment. With Naseem Naqvi, Anand Kumar, AIR News, Delhi.
The government has dismissed a WhatsApp message claiming that people are no longer required to wear helmets within a 15-kilometer radius from any city. In a tweet, Press Information Bureau termed the claim as fake. It clarified that wearing helmet is still mandatory for bike riders. In business news, the benchmark domestic stocks today remained almost flat amid negative global cues. The Sensex at the Bombay Stock Exchange gained 15 points to close at 38,041. The Nifty at the National Stock Exchange rose 14 points to settle at 11,214. The Union Home Ministry has permitted overseas citizens of India, OCI cardholders, to enter India who belong to countries with which air bubble arrangements have been finalized by the Civil Aviation Ministry. Home Ministry spokesperson in a tweet said that other foreigners from these countries have also been allowed to avail Indian visa facility for business, medical and employment purposes. The spokesperson said Indian citizens have also been allowed to travel to such countries on any type of visa. The Ministry of Civil Aviation has worked out air bubble scheme with the USA, the UK, Germany and France and the countries that may be included under such scheme in future. Now let us take a look at tomorrow's weather update. National capital Delhi will have generally cloudy sky with light rain or drizzle. Minimum temperature will be 26 degrees Celsius and the maximum will be around 35 degrees. Mumbai will experience a generally cloudy sky with moderate rain. The minimum temperature will be 24 degrees Celsius while maximum there would be around 29 degrees. Chennai will have a generally cloudy sky with light rain or drizzle. The temperature will hover between 27 and 35 degrees Celsius. Kolkata will witness generally cloudy sky with 1 or 2 spells of rain or thunder showers. Minimum temperature in Kolkata will be 27 while maximum will be around 32 degrees Celsius. On to north. In the Union Territory of Jammu and Kashmir, the minimum temperature in Jammu will be 28 degrees Celsius while maximum will be around 35 degrees. In Srinagar, the minimum temperature will be 20 degrees while the maximum will be around 32 degrees. The city will have mainly clear sky becoming partly cloudy towards evening or night. Ladakh will have mainly clear sky becoming partly cloudy towards afternoon or evening. The temperature will hover between 19 and 30 degrees Celsius. In Gilgit, the temperature will hover between 19 and 36 degrees Celsius. It will experience mainly clear sky. In Muzaffarabad, there will be mainly clear sky becoming partly cloudy towards afternoon or evening. The minimum temperature will be 21 degrees Celsius while the maximum temperature will be around 36 degrees Celsius. Chandigarh will have a generally cloudy sky with 1 or 2 spells of rain or thunder showers. Minimum temperature in the city will be 27 degrees Celsius while the maximum will be around 32 degrees. In Hyderabad, the minimum temperature will be 24 degrees Celsius while the maximum around 31 degrees. Rain or thunder showers would occur in the city towards evening or night. Bhopal will have partly cloudy sky with possibility of rain or thunderstorm. The minimum temperature in Bhopal will be 25 degrees Celsius while maximum will be around 32 degrees. Guwahati will have a generally cloudy sky with 1 or 2 spells of rain or thunder showers. Minimum temperature in Guwahati will be 26 degrees Celsius while maximum will be around 34 degrees. And in news just in, Air India Express flight with 174 passengers on board en route from Dubai skidded off the runway while landing at the Karipur Airport, Kozhikode in Kerala just a short while ago. Rescue operations are on. Heavy rain is continuing in the region. And now, before we end, the headlines once again. Prime Minister Narendra Modi says new education policy was the need of the hour and it will be the foundation of new India. nation's vibrant handloom sector has made commendable efforts to preserve the indigenous crafts of the country, says the Prime Minister. 23 Kendra Vidyalayas to be set up in the Union Territory of Jammu and Kashmir to augment school education infrastructure. Government launches letter of recommendation module for street vendors to avail PM Swanidhi scheme benefits. And heavy rains lash many parts of the country. Landslides reported in Kerala and Karnataka. And with that, we end the evening news.